Hi, you're about to engage in the guidebook unit Call of the Wild. The purpose of this video is to learn about dog sledding, when and why it's used, its advantages and disadvantages, and how it connects to the novel Call of the Wild. Be sure you have your handout and something to write with for the video. Imagine that you live in Alaska and you need to travel to the nearest town over. The way there is cold and mountainous. You can't take a car because there are no roads. You can't take a train because there are no tracks. You could walk, but that would take a long time. In the end, you decide to strap your dog team to your sled and travel by dog sled. This is not an imaginary situation. Dog sledding was and still is a popular mode of transportation in cold, snowy areas. In Call of the Wild, you will read about Buck, a dog who ends up on a dog sled team. Let's watch a video of dog sledding in action. Pause this video and click on the embedded video link. When the video ends, return to this video and press play to continue. What are dog sleds used for? Dog sleds have been used for many years, but they were particularly popular in the 1800s and early 1900s as a way to carry supplies throughout parts of Alaska and northern Canada. Dog sleds have been used to carry mail, medicine, and supplies such as food and goods to people living remotely in the wilderness. In Call of the Wild, you will read about the important role dog sleds played in transporting gold prospectors along with their supplies during the Klondike Gold Rush of 1896. Another reason using dog teams is popular is that sled dogs are bred for the cold and snow. They are used to it and they stay healthy and strong in conditions that might be too harsh for other pack animals like horses and donkeys. Let's take a quick look at the history of dog sledding. Dog sledding has been around for a long time. The first recorded instances of using dog sleds to get around was as early as 1,000 years BC. That's almost 3,000 years ago. In the late 1800s, dog sledding became more common and was often used for exploring the Arctic and Antarctica. Around the same time, it became a popular way for citizens of Alaska and Western Canada to transport people and goods. It also played an important role in the gold mining trade. Dog sledding became less popular in the 1920s, when people began using airplanes instead of dog sleds to deliver mail in remote areas. In the 1940s, some highways were built across the regions and people could use cars and trucks to transport goods, which were both much quicker and easier options. In the 1950s, snowmobiles became a popular way for people to travel across the snow and ice. All of these inventions made the use of dog sleds less appealing. However, dog sled races grew in popularity in the 20th century. The Iditarod is a famous miles-long dog sled race held in Alaska each year, and the first one took place in 1973. While dog sledding isn't the only way to travel in cold climates anymore, dog sled racing remains a popular sport today. You are ready to summarize what you learned so far. Pause the video to record your answers on your handout at the first stop sign, then press play when you are ready to continue. You probably mentioned that dog sleds were popular because they were the fastest way to get around since there were very few roads and railways in Alaska in the 18 and 1900s. Sled dogs were bred to travel through cold and snow and proved to be more reliable than other animals such as horses and donkeys in these conditions. Dog sleds declined in popularity when airplanes began making deliveries to remote areas in the 1920s. And once roads and railroads were built and snowmobiles were invented mid-century. What qualities do you think a good dog sled needs? Pause the video to record your answers on your handout at the second stop sign. Then press play when you are ready to continue. If you said that sled dogs should be strong, you are correct. They often have to pull loads that weigh hundreds of pounds, and they might even have to loosen a sled that is frozen solid to ice or snow. These dogs should also be fast. Many sled dogs today are used for races, and in the past, speed helped ensure that their owners and the supplies made it to destinations safely. Surprisingly enough, sled dogs do not need to be very big. In fact, the best sled dogs are between 45 and 55 pounds, not too big and not too small. Of course, sled dogs should be intelligent, especially the lead dog or the dog in front. They often need to make life or death decisions about the safety of a trail and determine which direction to turn, and they need to learn the driver's commands quickly. Finally, sled dogs do not need to be aggressive. In fact, most dogs have a loving relationship with their owners, and sled dogs get along well with both people and other dogs. The most common types of sled dogs are Siberian Huskies and Alaskan Malamutes. However, many mixed breed dogs, including dogs that are mixed of these two breeds, can be great sled dogs too. Each dog on a team has a specific job. The lead dog, or the dog in front, has the most important role of all. It must apply the musher's or the driver's commands, as well as set the pace or speed for the rest of the team. The swing dogs come after the leader. Their role is to help the team navigate turns. Any dogs in the middle of the pack are simply referred to as team dogs. They are there to add strength and speed to the team. The last dog of the lineup, the dog closest to the sled, is the wheel dog. Its job is to help pull and steer the sled. In addition, if the sled gets stuck in ice when it's resting, the wheel dog will help to break it free. The person who drives the dogs and gives command is the musher. As you read Call of the Wild, you'll get to know Buck and many of his fellow sled dogs. Let's read this description of the dog's jobs. Dave was a wheeler, or sled dog. Pulling in front of him was Buck. Then came Sol Leeks. The rest of the team was strung ahead, single file, to the leader, which position was filled by Spitz. In other words, the wheel dog is Dave, Buck, Sol Leeks, and the rest of the dogs are the team dogs, and Spitz serves as the lead dog. Are you ready to check what you remember about the dog's roles? Pause this video to record your answers on your handout at the third stop sign. Then press play when you are ready to continue. You should have matched the lead dog to description B. It sets the pace and applies the musher's commands. For number 2, you should have found choice D. Swing dogs help the sled to make turns. Number 3, the team dog fits choice E. These dogs help pull the sled and maintain speed. For number 4, the wheel dog, you should have chosen C. Wheel dogs are closest to the sled, which they help pull and steer. Finally, the musher matches description A. He or she is the person driving the sled who gives commands to the dogs. As you engage in the guidebook unit and read the novel Call of the Wild, you will read about many ways that people use dog sleds as well as sled dogs' jobs. Knowing the important role that dog sledding played in Alaska in the 1800s will help you understand Buck's story in Call of the Wild. When you finish this video, be sure to turn in your completed handout to your teacher.